All right, man. We are here. It's Ziza Connection. Today we're connecting with Jalopy Bungus, man. This is This is a interview and a podcast that I've been waiting to do for a minute. We had this one scheduled a long time ago and just didn't get around to doing it. Things didn't line up, but that's how life works. But I'm glad it came to today because since that time, you've dropped an EP. Yeah. You've put out some music videos. Yeah. And all of it I'm fucking with. From top to
that's
bottom.
real. That's real.
From top to bottom. Yeah, dead ass. That's love. So I'm excited to kind of just chop it up with you, talk a little bit about who Jalopy Bungus is, where the name came from, what you're up to, what your goal is, just everything about you, bro. And I'm going to bring up a little story that I'm not too sure you're aware of. Okay. As to how I got into you, how I learned about Jalopy.
All right, bet.
All right. Yeah. First, it's tradition on here that I ask you 3 random questions. I got a random question generator. Bet. So I'm going to ask you these 3 questions and we'll go from there. Bet. Do you have a reoccurring dream?
Yeah.
And what is it?
It's kind of long, but I haven't really told nobody. So it's like for the last, I think since I was younger, I just like it would be like every 6-7 months or something like that. I get it like twice a year. Yeah. And it'll just be a massive red tornado, and it's like different circumstances, but it's always that red tornado. Yeah, like the last one I had, I was with a couple of my homies. I was with my homie Hannah, Avery, KT the Intellect, and somebody else. And the tornado was coming, and Hannah and Avery were in the hotel. Like they ran back into the hotel to go grab their stuff. Yeah. And so like KT like drove off without him. It was crazy. Like it was crazy. He was driving like speeding up the freeway.
Have you ever tried to like Google it and see what a red tornado in your dreams means?
I've tried looking up a few times, and it's all a bunch of different stuff. Like I can't find nothing specific.
Man, you need to go see like one of those dream readers,
for real. But I have that all the time. It's just like since I was a kid.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like and it never stops. Like it just happens. Like it happened every time it happens. I remember.
That's crazy, bro.
Like I remember it vividly.
Next one. What do you wish they would teach at school that they don't teach? And I could go on for hours about shit they should be teaching at school.
Damn, that's a lot.
What's a prominent one?
That black and white are statuses in law. Okay. And not actual nationalities. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when one identifies as black, like they're lawless, like they're stateless under the law. So anything can be done to them. Like, I mean, they're basically property under U.S. jurisdiction. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I know like your past, you had a run-in with a situation with, is it Gilbert PD or Glendale PD?
Oh, Glendale PD, yeah.
Glendale PD. We'll talk about that in a second because I remember seeing that on your page because I stalked your shit. When I first followed you, I went back. You know what I mean? I went back. Last one. What's the story about the last time you cried?
When was the last time I cried? It wasn't that long ago. I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
What was it about? Damn. What? I can't remember. Okay, but I know it was an accumulation of a bunch of shit though, bro. But it wasn't that long ago. It was like 2 weeks ago.
It's just like my girlfriend, bro. My girlfriend, like anytime she cries, it's just like it adds up, and sometimes you just have to let it go.
You just gotta let it go. Yeah, it was something. Something was a tipping point. Something was a tipping point, and I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. But, all right, so let's get into this, bro. Where did the name Jalopy Bungus come from? Because
I said it.
Really?
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere?
I was in 8th grade. Like, I remember one day I was with my nigga Shrub. Like, we went to Deer Valley Middle School or whatever. Yeah. And I had hella alter egos. Jalopy Bungus, like rap alter egos. Okay. Jalopy, like MF Doom. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Jalopy Bungus was one of them. And it just so happened that the first song I ever recorded was called Shoulder Check with my homie LJ. Okay. And it just so happened the first song I decided to use that alter ego. So I was like,
and you just rode with it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just keep it then.
So you really see, because most artists that I know have had like 3 or 4 different aliases for their music, and you just stuck with Jalopy.
It's been this one since I was 16. Yeah, since I was 14. Since I made that song when I was 14, but I didn't start taking music serious. I got older.
Right.
But yeah, I've been just using Jalopy Bungus. Yeah. I got I've released other music under other alter egos that nobody knows about.
Are they other styles or is
totally different styles?
Got you.
Okay. Totally different styles. Yeah.
A lot of DJs do that kind of shit. You know what I mean? They'll have alter egos or aliases that no one knows about, and they'll release a completely different genre.
Yeah, my goal is to like when I blow up, put those versions on.
Yup.
Like I feel like it's gonna like create so much like different forms of revenue and like I got it on here.
Right. I see you got a master plan, bro.
Yeah, bro.
All right. So here's the story. The first time I heard about you was actually the first time I ever saw you live.
Oh, okay.
I saw you at Pub Rock.
Pub Rock?
My homie Zenny.
You sure it was on Rebel Lounge?
Nope. It was at Pub Rock.
Pub Rock?
Yep. On Hayden and whatever. And you were you had Almighty Suspect there.
Oh, last year. Oh yeah. Yep. That was crazy. That was crazy.
My homie Zenny hit me up and said, "Yo, can you come support? I'm opening up. I want to be at the come check it out. Come be at the show." So I came by and I was
Zenny's a homie for
Zenny's a homie, bro. He's good people. Yeah, really good people.
Zenny's solid.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'll show up. You know, I had stuff to do later that night. I was like, I'll show up for Zenny's set and then I'll dip out. Yeah. When I was standing outside the venue to get inside, you walked up to the front door. Yeah. And I saw you and, you know, just out of nowhere, I said hi to you. We chopped it up a little bit right there. And then you went around the back to get in. Yeah. And I was like, man, you know, I'm going to stay. I haven't been to a local hip hop show in a minute. I'm going to stay and check it out. Right. Yeah. So Almighty Suspect goes on and then you came on. And as I'm standing there, bro, there was maybe like 70 people there, 60 people there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah. I know it was like one of them compilation shows. It was like I didn't know nobody on the card. Right. Like it was like everybody just like we just put a whole bunch of people in the
Right. And as soon as you came on, just about everyone there was singing your shit.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? What is going on?
It's believe it or not, it's for real been like that since I was like 18.
It had me tripping because I was like, I haven't been to a local show where I heard people actually singing lyrics in God knows how long. So that was my first thing. I looked over at the guy that was standing to the left of me and I was virtually there by myself. Yeah. Right. All the homies that I had dipped out by that time or they were in the back doing their thing and like chilling, kicking it, whatever. And I was talking to the guy that was standing next to me. I was like, yo, who is this? Like, who the fuck is this guy? And you were doing a bunch of lyrical songs, like meaningful songs, shit that has some meaning, going a cappella, like doing your thing with it. Yeah. And I was like, what? Where did this come from? Because you don't, I'm being serious with you, bro. You do not see that. You don't see that kind of shit. People don't do that kind of shit. Their music's not meaningful. Yeah. They don't go a cappella. Yeah, they don't know how to work a crowd. They don't know how to connect with a crowd. Mm-hmm. And before we started this podcast, I asked you if there's anything that you don't want to talk about. Yeah. Right. And I did that because I wanted to ask you this question. That day, you had something like serious happen in your life.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And dude, I don't know what it was. From that moment, I was like, dude, sometimes you see people, right? Yeah. Like you're an artist and a musician and a damn good one. Yeah. But like you're a person. Yeah. And that's what I saw that day. Yeah. And that's what made me start fucking with you.
That's love.
So like, how was that experience? Like having gone, you can go ahead and share what happened that day if you want to. I'm not going to make you, but like, how was that experience? Right. Yeah. Having that situation happen and then coming on and doing that show.
It was trash.
Really?
It was garbage. Like the whole, I didn't enjoy the performance at all. To be realistic, like, don't get me wrong. Like I know SD, I know Zenny. But usually when I do shows, I like to know the artists. Right. Because then the people who come with those artists, like if we all are aware of each other, right, everybody stays. Right. But with that show, it's kind of like one of them open mic things where people bring everybody. Because it was a sold out show. Like we sold over 300 tickets. Right. But everybody left. Yeah. The artists got out. So it was like you never got to see that bit. So that was a problem for me from the jump. Then on top of that, that happened. One of my friends passed away that day. So it was like it wasn't even really my friend. It was like but I seen it as my, you know, it's like we're friends, but she was a fan first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And over time, like me seeing her at shows and stuff, and her supporting, I got more familiar with her. So it was like to see somebody that was supporting me from the very beginning, like pass away on the day of such a big show. Right. Like all my assessments like top 5, like one of my favorite artists. Right. So even getting on a song with him and doing a show with him was like huge for you, bro. Wow. Like what? Right. So it was unfortunate that day, like she would have been at the show, been able to see all that. Right. So the fact she couldn't see that, and the fact that she, you know what I mean, like the way she passed away was like, right. And I thought back to all the songs that I wrote, you know what I'm saying? And it's like detailing about that specific type, you know what I mean? Like that, the way she died, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like the irony and everything was crazy. But you got to do your job though. So I was like, I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? Just because, you know what I'm saying? I still got to do my job. I still got to like, obligation to, you know what I mean? Like, bro, and I can tell you from someone that was in the crowd that, again, I had no clue who the fuck you were when I was there. Yeah. No clue. From someone standing in the crowd at the time, there was something really, like, I could feel the fact that you were doing it for a reason. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that show specifically, for whatever reason it was, you could feel the fact that you were there and doing it for a reason. Yeah, for sure. So that made it really, really special for me. You know, I'm sure I'm glad everyone else that was there too. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, everybody. It was ironic because that was one of my most lackluster performances in my opinion, but everybody was saying like that was their favorite performance. You know what I'm saying? I was all over my Instagram story and shit. Like, I don't know who this is, but this is I'm going with this. I love this shit. Yeah. And I remember DMing you that same night. As soon as I left the show, I was like, bro, that was crazy. Yeah, I appreciate that. So for real. Let's double back. Yeah. Your style, right? Mm-hmm. And I've talked to my girlfriend about this before too. Yeah. Sometimes I liken your style to something that I would have heard with Odd Future back in the earlier days. Oh yeah, I get that a lot. I get that a lot. Yeah. Okay, so do you draw inspiration from Odd Future? Is that no? That's the crazy thing. I'm not a big fan of. I like Earl though. I like Earl's Earl so much. But Tyler Creator and the rest of them, nah. It's not your thing. I'm not an Odd Future dude. I'm more of an Earl sweatshirt dude. I got Earl sweatshirt. Okay. But we have the same influences. Such as, how do you MF Doom, like Quasimodo, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stuff that I'm into, like that's a lot of the stuff that a lot of my favorite artists are usually into. Right. So it's like that's where the, you know what I mean? The influence comes from. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So Quasimodo, MF Doom, those Quasimodo, are okay. Anybody else that you fuck with like Isaiah that? Rashad. Okay. Tupac's my favorite all time. Okay. Tupac. I love a lot of artists. Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? Like the class of Snoop Dogg. You feel me? Right. So you're more West Coast. Yeah, you're more West Coast. West Coast. My family doesn't really like East Coast music at all. Okay. So I had to find that on my own. Right. But growing up, like that's all I was listening to was like hardcore, like West Coast shit. Like, were you a Nipsey fan? Oh yeah, bro. I was a Nipsey fan for sure. I got a Nipsey tattoo on my leg. For real? Nipsey was one of my favorite artists of all time. That shit hurt me to the core, bro. Yeah, I liked Nipsey back then. Right. But it was more of his recent stuff where I was like, okay, I'm a legitimate fan. But you know, like all the artists that I'm a fan of, he was always collabing with or being around. So it was like, yeah, like because of that, it was like for example, like I'm not gonna go like turn on YG, right? But I fuck with YG. It was like that with Nipsey, you feel me? But I respected Nipsey more what he was doing outside of hip hop, right? You feel me? So yeah, I respected his character. Bro, and his interviews and stuff like that. Yeah, anytime you saw an interview of him, it was like hard not to like him. Exactly. Like, what was there not to like? Exactly. You know what I mean? He was just a real person. Yeah, and that's what I was drawn for. Like, I got a playlist with just like my favorite interviews. You know what I'm saying? It's inspirational interviews, and he's got a few in there. Right. You feel me? So it's like, yeah, that's why I fucked with Nipsey. Right. Okay. Yeah. And then as far as like the influence on your music, because you talk about a lot of like, you got a couple songs on that Samson album. That are like, yeah, Samson's rough, bro. They're pretty questionable as far as like the topics that are going on. It's not shit people are willing to talk about or like put in their music. You know what I mean? There was some heavy shit in there. Yeah. Is that like personal experience? Is this like where do you get the the inspiration to write? Yeah, like before when I was younger, I used to crack out songs all the time. Like by the time I was like 19, yeah, I was I had like 700 unreleased songs. Like I was like me and my homie Shrub, like I used to live on my homie Dice. I would go to his house every day and knock out like 6 songs. You know what I'm saying? Right. So but as I got older, it became harder and harder to write because now I don't really write unless I got something to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can do the write like a bunch of bars like whenever I want,
right.
But it's like I never get a good feeling out of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's like the shit I did with Bella Gardens. Like, that was crazy, but
right, that shit was hard.
Yeah, I love that one, but because the beat was different, it was like a different approach,
right? And the filter over the vocals and everything, that shit was just.
But if it's just like, you know what I'm saying, like the song, like if it's got to bring something out of me, like, you know what I'm saying. So it's got to be it's usually life experience. So yeah, life experience inspires me to write the most. And really, I feel like I learn a lot from my own writing.
Right.
As weird as that sounds, like I learn a lot from my own writing. It's
You're
almost
like
I don't
looking
be
into yourself.
Yeah, literally. It's like I use my music to go internal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally what it is. And you know what I mean? I grew up on Tupac. Like I said, that's my favorite artist. So it's like Tupac was always there for me when I needed to hear something. You feel me? So it was like I want it to be the same thing for a lot of people. You feel me? Like growing up, I wanted to do the same shit that Tupac was doing. But as I grew up, I realized like I'm not really like him at all. You feel me? So it's like now I'm becoming like probably when I turned 20, like right when I did Samson, I kind of realized like, okay, this is who I am. You feel me? And this is what I'm gonna do the best that I can do. And if that it comes short of whatever I look up to, it doesn't matter because it's all about what I can do. So my music, like that's what I try to be as raw as possible. Like I can't be politically correct in my music. Like, and I feel like that's what separates me is I'm not afraid to talk about the shit that nobody wants to talk about. You feel me? So yeah, like I'm always be like that. And I feel like I keep getting better too. It's just graphic. My shit just really graphic.
That's what I was going to say. It's like explicit. You know what I mean? Especially with Samson, bro. And that was the Samson project was your most recent project when I got into you. Most recent. Mm-hmm. So I was started with your most recent song on Apple Music and I went back. Yeah. Right? So I started with Samson and I went back. Yep. And the progress and the quality of the music on Samson was like next level. That's the jump was crazy. Yeah. And that's just me being straight up. Yeah. So as far as like the bars. Yeah. Right? You used to do or you still do some battle rapping.
Yeah, I still battle rap. Yeah. I'm trying to make a profession out of it.
Really?
I'm really like progressing way faster than a lot of battlers usually do. Like,
is there an audience? Is there like there's an audience for battle rap nowadays?
Yeah.
Really?
Battle rap is huge, bro. Really? Like I was just, before I got here, I was just watching the Caffeine app that's sponsored by Drake and a whole bunch of other people. Like URL was on the app. It's the most watched show on that app. And it's a huge app. So, and it's free. So, yeah, it's huge. There's a lot of money in it.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean, it's a lot of money in it. So I'm trying to get my name up so that while I'm making music, I can jump in a battle rap, use my leverage, and get 40,000 to write three rounds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so it's funny. I used to watch some battle raps here and there like 3-4 years ago just on YouTube.
I've been watching battle raps since I was a kid. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my fault. I thought you said did I?
No. Even like I was watching them when I first got into college just for fun. Like me and my homie would sit in the couch and watch them from time to time. Yeah. There's one specific one that I was
Which one?
Arsenal and Shadi Hora.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I know that battle. Yeah, that was
sitting
wild.
on the couch like this is crazy.
Yeah,
like they were
Arsenal
going at it,
Arsenal's
bro.
dirty. Arsenal disrespectful.
Super dirty. So how did you get into battle rap? When did you start doing that?
I was battle rapping when I was a kid, when I was like 11.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to freestyle battle. Like, you know what I'm saying? People would like, I would go to the corner and shit. Motherfuckers be placing bets and shit. Like,
right.
Yeah, just a freestyle battle. So I was really nice. Like,
right.
You feel me? Like, not nowhere near as nice as I am now, but for an 11-year-old, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's why I feel like that's where a lot of, like, it came, like, a lot of people was fucking with me because of it, like, because I was young and shit. Like, they would call me Mini 50 and shit. Because when I was younger, I guess I looked like 50 Cent or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, everybody was, that's the little homie to be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I was always around the older kids and shit because of that.
Right.
So, yeah, I started battling based off that, and then I was watching battle rap too. Like that's back when I was watching, like, you know what I'm saying, like Murder Mook and Serious Jones and all those fools and Math Hoffa and, you know what I'm saying, all that shit. So then yeah, I started. I was like, damn, I'm trying to really battle though, like how these niggas do. So I was like, how am I gonna get in the league? The leagues was being extra about it in Arizona. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just use my audience and start throwing my own battles.
Really?
So
and
every
that's
battle
what you still do?
Yeah, so every battle you've seen besides the Teddy B battle, which is my first league battle,
right?
Was I hosted that shit. Like I threw the show and then did it myself.
Man, I need to show up to one of them because I've never been to a battle rap show before,
lit.
and I think that would be fun as hell.
It's lit. Yeah, I be killing dudes. Like I be smoking dudes.
It doesn't
like,
surprise me.
I haven't
honestly.
lost a round yet, for real.
So you just did a battle rap against another rapper that's
Colfax.
local. Colfax.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Body
about
bag.
Colfax.
Yeah.
I knew about Vet Martinez, who's a homie of Colfax.
Colfax, yeah.
So through Vet Martinez, I went and looked at Colfax's stuff and you guys were throwing some shots back and forth on social media before the show and shit, and I love that, man. That like
I always gotta sell the fight. I love selling the fight. That's my favorite part.
Dude, the culture of hip hop is like living with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm a big proponent of like hip hop is supposed to be disrespectful. It's supposed to be raw.
It's competitive. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? From
Absolutely.
that perspective, from the bar's perspective.
Right.
Yeah, like,
absolutely.
It's competitive.
Who's the best battle rapper that you've gone up against? Or have you just completely demolished everybody?
Oh yeah, I've killed everybody.
Okay.
It hasn't even been close. But Danny Fat. Because before I battled Danny Fat, he had never lost a battle.
Okay.
He was undefeated. He was beating everybody at Battleborn MCs in Tucson.
Gotcha.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take him. You feel me? And since they don't want to book me on the league, I'm gonna just kill the best dude on the roster.
Right.
So I battled him at AZ Hip Hop Festival, body bag, smoked him. You feel me? And then ever since then, I've just been smoking everything. I don't think there's ever been a battler, and if I'm wrong, then you know what I'm saying. But I know a lot of history.
Right.
But I don't think there's ever been a battler that couldn't get into leagues, so they started throwing their own battles, and their own battles got them onto leagues. Like that's how it was for me. Like I literally was smoking shit at my own venue, bringing like more people than the battle leagues bringing to their shows.
Right.
And I was killing dudes, and then they spotted my stuff and they was like, yo, King of the Dot. So I battled on King of the Dot. Smoked Teddy B. Chilla Jones, he's a legend, you know what I'm saying? And he gave me props. So it was crazy. Like, so off of one battle, I really, you know what I'm saying? Like I really got one battle for real, like on a league that counts. So I was supposed to go to Canada and stuff in March, but
that all got messed up from coronavirus.
Not a case.
Oh,
yeah, the case fucked that up.
Okay, so what's going on with that?
They pushed it back again. They pushed it back to, I want to say July, I think.
What's the origin story of that? What happened?
It's the police thing.
So what was the situation though? What happened with that?
Well, basically, I'm gonna summarize it. I done told the story like a million times.
Okay,
but,
go for it, bro.
Basically, I was with a homie. You know what I'm saying? With one of my homegirls, we was chilling outside.
Right.
It's like 6 a.m.
Right.
You feel me? So we
just
was
in
chilling.
the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right in front of my house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that was when I lived on 67th and Glendale. So
got you.
It's the projects. I was on 67th Ocotillo.
Right.
So it's already hot. You feel me? So I was outside and there's a bunch of cops in the area anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we sitting there talking. I remember a dude roll up on a bike right before anything popped off. He was like, "Yo, the area." It was like I don't know. He was like a meth head or something. I don't know. I never even met him before.
Right.
Dude walked up. He was like, "Yo, the area is hot right now." I was like, "All right, I'm not committing no crime." You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling.
Right.
The pride talking. I should have took my ass inside.
Right.
And then we start walking towards where my crib is. The cop drove by. He does a U-turn. Dude pulls up on the curve, all types of aggressive. Like, I knew what he was trying to do.
Right off rip.
Gets out the car, doesn't close his door, walks up to me and stands there. Don't even say nothing. So I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's up?
Yeah.
And he was like, what? And you know what I'm saying? So from that point, it was like, and then I was like, what's going on? You feel me? And he was like, I seen you yelling at this young lady right here. Now, she walks up and is like, nobody was yelling. Nothing was going on. What do you mean?
Yeah.
He continues. So I'm like, at that point, it should have been over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But nobody called you.
Right.
You just pulled up. So it's like, your assumption is bringing you to this whole situation.
Right.
He was like, you sit down talking to me and just saying, you go stand over there. And I was like, I'm not sitting down until you tell me what I commit, like what I do. Right. You feel me? Until you tell me what I do, I'm not sitting down. That's what I told him. And I knew what I was getting myself into for real. Like, but it was like, I'm not about to allow you to, like, I already this type of shit is this is after Samson.
Right.
So you already know the type of time I'm on. You feel me? Like I understand why you're here.
Right.
I know why you're here. You know what I'm saying? I know your whole entire organization is to create profit. That's the only reason you're here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know what you're like, the area is hot, you're profiling me. You feel me? So I told him, until you can tell me the crime I committed, I'm not sitting down, because as soon as I sit down,
then we're going through the process. Right.
They gonna be asking me questions about all this different shit that I don't have to tell you about.
Right.
Because I don't know. First of all, I don't know what's going on. Second of all, just because I'm black don't mean you're allowed to interrogate me about anything.
Right.
You feel me? Or accuse me of anything.
Right.
So no, I'm not sitting down. You feel me? Like I told him, I'm not sitting down until you tell me what I did. And he was like, well, put the dispatch on, boom, boom, boom. And he was like, I'm not gonna tell you to sit down again. I was like, I'm not sitting down. You feel me? And then he grabbed me by my arm. Oh no, actually my hands were in my hoodie. That's what happened. My hands were in my hoodie. Mm-hmm. Then he was like, take your hands out your hoodie. He's like, take your hands out your hoodie. So I knew what he was doing. As soon as he said that, put my hands up.
He was trying to get you on something.
Yeah, and I wasn't letting him. You know what I'm saying? So he grabs my arm and I'm like, yo, let me go. Pulls me towards him, clotheslines me. You feel me? And then yeah.
So you taking him to court now?
Oh yeah. So they was telling me to get a plea and all that. I was like, get a plea for what?
Right.
Like, first of all, I knew what I was doing. I was like, okay, he just assaulted me. As long as I can survive this encounter,
right,
I'm gonna win the case.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was my whole mind state. As long as I can survive this encounter without putting hands on him,
right,
or resisting,
right,
I'm gonna win this case. So that was my whole objective. Like the whole time that he was doing all that extra shit to me on the ground and punched the girl in the face. You feel me? Like this is all like, and the public offender dude, I call them public pretenders, you know what I'm saying? But this one was like, he was like, oh yeah, I think you should get a plea. I don't think this is looking good, blah, blah, until that fucking body cam footage pulled up. And they took forever to bring that shit through. Like, I'm talking months.
They want to try to filter it and hold it off as long as they can. Right?
To the police files, they took forever to bring the police files. We see the body cam footage and he's like, oh yeah, this looks pretty bad. Yeah. You feel me? He never told, first of all, he fucked up because he never told me I was under arrest at any point. Right. At any point, he never told me I was under arrest. Never told me what it was, what crime I committed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, the only thing he told me to do was sit down. It was just random. It was just random. Yeah. You feel me? So he, not even outside, even if I did commit a crime, he violated so many different things that goes towards his protocol that are all on camera. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking to do they trying to dismiss it. And I did say no originally, but Phil and them was like, well, Phil was like that's my guy, but okay. He was like, nah, you should, he's an attorney too. He was like, no, you should just ride it out, let it go. You should just dismiss it, let it go. Like, that's a win. Right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right. So I got you. I'm at that phase right now.
But they won't let you can't go to Canada until everything's
I can't leave the state.
Oh, you can't leave the state.
I can't leave the state.
Got you. Until it's all squared away.
And so it's been a year plus. Right. This happened in April of last year. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, or May of last year. Right. So it's like, this has been a year. I see me. So yeah, these fools got me on probation basically for nothing.
Yeah, just trying to hold you around. You can't do shit. Can't move.
For real.
All right, so back to the music. Yep. What's your next step? You dropped this EP. You got a music video that dropped
today. My next step is lit.
Okay.
We lit. I got another song, but it's with another
You can't even.
We lit. That's all I'm gonna say. We fucking lit. Okay. I put a post out on Twitter, and it's so crazy because I put a post out on Twitter last year, and I was like, by the end of 2020, I'm gonna have a collab with these 4 artists. I got 2 of them off the list right now.
Damn.
Almighty was number 1. I got the second one off the list. I just got to finish the song and send it.
So now we got to go back and look at your tweets and figure out which of the 3 it was.
Which of the 3? Yeah.
That's
for
crazy.
Real. Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
It's another one of my favorite artists, hands down. Like, right. Hands down. It's gonna be hard.
And I assume you're gonna be doing a music video and everything for that one too.
Probably.
Yeah. Your music videos too, by the way. Mad creative.
Thank
you.
Like
the one you just dropped too.
Made Men?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? That was the first video where I wasn't like controlling a lot of it.
So you let the director kind of handle it?
He's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, yo, obviously on some mafia shit, but we all had the idea. Derek definitely did, like, he just did that. You know what I'm saying?
You work with the same guy on every video?
Nah. It's a bunch of different people.
Got you.
But that's why, but man, that lets you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm making sure, like, you feel me? But yeah, my earlier videos were with Garen Chadwick, and then I had a string where I was doing a lot with Ian Baker.
Right.
And then I did some with Dylan Toon, and then Yeah, I feel like I can work with anybody for real.
So the general idea is yours for the videos.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. Okay. Besides this one,
right?
The Made Men, that was all he really. As far as like we all thought mafia shit because that's what the song is about,
right?
But he did everything, right? You know what I'm saying he took care of all that shit.
Got you. And that's what I was gonna say. Like the quality of the videos, not just the idea behind it, but the execution behind them. Yeah, you know what I mean. They're all executed really, really well. You had that one. I'm not sure what song it was for, but where you had dudes boxing. I think Zenny was in it, like boxing and shit.
No for February.
Yeah, dude, that like so well done, like creatively and executed so well.
Yeah,
so.
Embodied that.
It just feels like you've got everything, like you've got this hip hop game like figured out from my perspective, at least from the outside looking in. You know what I mean? It seems like you've got it all figured out how to run this shit the right way.
Yeah, and we really at the point where it's just about who hears it. That's it. Yeah, that's all it's about now. You feel me? I feel like my music is I can get better. I can keep getting better. Like there's a lot of room to improve, but I feel like my signature. That's solid. You feel me? Like people like you never know what you going like you never know what it's gonna sound like, right? But you know it's gonna be direct. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be you know what I'm saying. But I'm always challenging myself. But as far as I feel like you know what I'm saying. I feel like I'm an elite lyricist for real.
You really are.
I keep getting better at making music. It's like that's one thing I'm trying to keep practicing. Trying to practice making all types of music. You feel me? And trying to master that. Right. But as far as the bars and all that, that's there. So I feel like it's just like, you feel me? Once I've gotten respect from a lot of industry cats already. That's why my career in general is kind of weird. It's kind of really weird because I got a lot of industry cats that were fucking with me before I even started doing numbers. Right. So it's kind of backwards. Right. You feel me?
Like, they were fucking with you because they saw the potential.
Yeah, they saw the potential. And then now I'm kind of living up to it. Right. That's kind of how my career's been. You feel me? So
I feel like that's the best way to go about it though, because like quite honestly, bro, it seems like you got like a cult fan base. You know what I mean? Like the people who fuck with you really fuck with you.
Yeah. A lot of people hate me too, but it's all right.
Why?
Because in my opinion is because I'm Aboriginal, well, I'm black and confident and direct. Right. That's a very hard thing to. People don't like confident people. No, but people don't like confident black people either. Fair enough. Because it's powerful.
It's abrasive.
Like and I feel like it can be misinterpreted as cocky, arrogant. But that's because a lot of people feel insecure.
Got you. So, are you involved with the production process, or do you have producers you work? Yeah.
Oh yeah. The I don't really. Nah.
You don't really make the beats, but are you?
I don't make any beats.
Are you picking them? Or are you letting
pick them though? Okay. Yeah, they'll send me packs and stuff, and I just pick my favorite ones.
Got you. No one specific you work with normally?
Yeah, I work the same people all the time. I work with Skateson, Uzi Edwards, Verb About That. I just started working with Bobby IDK. Okay. He did the SMD4 times 4
shit
beat.
Was hard.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. And he did that beat. I work with I just did a song with I just did a beat off the homie Justice. Who else?
I think I know who that is. I think I know Justice.
And who else? Hopefully I'm not forgetting nobody.
I see.
My homie. Well, I mean, one of my homies like to be low key, so I ain't gonna say his name. He but he goes by Producers Unknown.
Got you.
He did Risk.
Got you.
Yeah. Those are the people I work with. I like to work with the same people.
So you really got your network set up too.
I got everything ready. I got the videographers I always work with. I got the that changes a lot though. But same producers for years, but just more get added on. Right.
As you find new people that you fuck with. Yeah.
And yeah.
What's your vetting process like? Do you meet them before you start working with them, or is it strictly off the beats?
Always. I can't well, Bobby IDK was different because he was somebody basically vouched for him. They were like, oh yeah, this the homie, blah, blah. Then he sent me a pack. He lives in New Orleans though.
Got you.
He sent me a pack.
Bobby IDK work with the rapper IDK?
Nah.
No relation there?
Nah, not at all. Sure. The dude that put me on Bobby IDK is 602 The Prophet. Okay. And I think he's in New Orleans too now, but he was out here originally. Got you. But we that's how I started working with him. And I fuck with him because his beats are so different. Like he does. When you start hearing the new shit I'm about to come out with, his beats are so different. He can do a lot of shit. Right. Yeah, he did White Horse too. That's one of my favorites. White Horse is crazy. But yeah, so
So are you dropping, what's your project, your plans for dropping music the rest of this year? Do you have more EPs coming out, or is it just singles for the rest of the year?
I got an album idea called, I want to say it now because if I would have did a, I got an album called No Child Left Behind.
Okay.
Don't know when I'm going to start that.
Got you.
But I'll know. But I came up with this last year, and it's like the more time goes by, the idea of the album becomes more realistic. Like the original idea was trying to basically, well, I can paint it for you. Like basically, the cover art is gonna be like those concentration camps that people being kept in right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I call them concentration camps. It's gonna be a bunch of kids in that cage. So it's gonna be a bunch of kids in the cage. The TV over here. Half the kids are gonna be looking at the TV. Half the kids are gonna be exiting out the back of the cage.
Got you.
That's to represent Generation Z, basically.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Which is my generation. So, and basically, I was talking to my homie Chris about it. I was talking to him about the album. He was like, "Yeah, that sounds like a modern Section 80." I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like that."
Right.
Where Section 80 is about 80s babies.
Right.
You feel me? So No Child Left Behind is reference to the program that Obama put Generation Z through, where basically we got to pass, even if we were failing. Right. Where usually you got flunked, you got to say it back. We got pushed through no matter what. Right. So I was going to school with kids who didn't do anything and were going to the next grade. So No Child Left Behind is based on our generation, and the more all this stuff takes place, the more content, you know what I mean, I'm starting to realize.
Come up with.
That's what me and my folks like the prelude to that.
Got you.
Like Risk is about how the women in the generation pick the men and how problematic the men are. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying?
And that's some real shit.
Yeah.
And it could go off on that topic alone, man.
Yeah. And the SMD times 4 is that's like irrelevant, but that's more about like XXXTentacion and you know what I mean, like how it is to be. That's like the anger. Right. That's like the anger I channel from being such a hated figure in the community.
Were you an X fan too?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, but no.
Like you fucked with some of the music, but
yeah,
you
like
weren't
his
a
first
fan.
Like when I first heard X, like I heard like 2 songs. It was one was a snippet. The first song I ever heard from him was a snippet on SoundCloud before it like blew up. And I was like, yo, this shit is hard. Yeah. And then I didn't like nothing, basically really nothing after that. Okay. You feel me? I like one song with this some guy. Right. Everything else I did not like. So I also didn't like his ideologies whatsoever. I feel like in my personal opinion, just me.
From what perspective? Because from the way I look at X, right? Yeah. Because I was a fan. I liked his music. Yeah. It seemed like all he was ever trying to preach, at least after his down days, I guess we'll call them, where he had some, run-ins with the law and he was dealing with some shit. It seemed like
with the girls and shit. Yeah.
It seemed like the later days before he passed away, obviously, he was really just preaching the whole like everybody love everybody, like positivity.
I think he was a solid dude, in my opinion. Like, dude probably made some mistakes. You know what I'm saying? He put hands on women and shit like that. I think everybody can grow. Malcolm X was what put his hands on women. You know what I'm saying? Early I did not know that. Life. The Malcolm X pre, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That totally different dude. Like he would have been canceled today. Right. So that should let you know right there the type like growth is possible. And nobody should feel, I mean, our generation has this real elitist, you know what I'm saying, perspective on shit where nobody can change, even though everybody has a dark second chance about it. Everybody got dark secrets. It's projection. Everybody's trying to project that shit on the other people. But at the end of the day, people can change. So I think X was a solid dude. He had a solid core. Made some bad decisions, boom, boom, boom. And those are fucked up. Yeah. Solid core. But his ideologies as far as racial relations.
Got you.
That type of shit, extremely ignorant, extremely uneducated, and extremely dangerous. Especially with somebody of that fan base, but he was young, so it's cool. But that's the issue I had with him as an artist, right. Which is why I can never really get into him, because I feel like you got such a large fan base and you just basing all this idea, like the song he had about people rioting and shit. Right. You feel me? Yeah. Yep. I feel like that. Phone died. I feel like that in itself is like that song. Was very, I feel like, you know what I mean? Because he's talking about like police brutality originally, but then he's talking about people destroying the community, what community are we talking about? Like, we talk like, whose community are we talking about? Because the black people who, quote unquote, black people who live there don't own none of that shit. So when you say they're destroying their communities, what do you mean? Because when I think I'm destroying my community, I'm thinking I own some of this shit here.
Right.
We don't own nothing. So it's like, why are you condemning outrage for 400 years of oppression in the form of stealing a TV or destroying a fucking Fry's that will be rebuilt and paid back to the people who own it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's those type of things that I was like, okay, like, he's a young dude, you feel me? But it's so like,
maybe he still hasn't developed his thoughts on it fully.
Yeah, I just feel like but I'm like, it's not an excuse, because anybody can do the proper research and understand or have, you know what I'm saying, empathy. Like, don't allow yourself to be a free thinker. Like, don't allow yourself to be driven into the direction of like that whole, I hate rioters, I hate protesters. That's all intentionally implemented. Right. You know what I'm saying? By media. You feel me? That's all media talk. You know, you feel me? So it's like, from that perspective, it's like to rap like that, and I just seen a lot of people using that during the riots and the protests of all the shit that happened. A lot of people were using that song. Right. And it's like, I feel like if he had a chance to grow further, I think he would have refute that. Exactly. You feel me? So that's just my perspective, though. It's a lot of stuff. Like, Tupac's one of my favorite artists. He's my favorite artist, and there's a lot of stuff he says I don't agree with either. Right. So I just, you know what I'm saying? I never think of celebrities beyond criticism or beyond
because they shouldn't be, bro. They're people.
Nobody.
And I'm one of those people who feels like it's stupid. Literally, it's stupid to idealize anybody. Yeah. You should never have an idol.
It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous because you build someone up to be this like godlike power, right? And in your head, maybe you don't consciously think about it, but subconsciously you're building up this person so much so that you think you can never reach the heights that they've reached, and you're putting a subconscious limit on yourself. Yep. You know what I mean?
That's something I had to learn too. Really, that's how I view Tupac. Gotcha. When growing up, that's how I viewed, because I was the first musician I ever heard, the first person I felt like was speaking. Like, Tupac got songs that's literally rapping my entire life. You know what I'm saying? He's got a lot of songs like that. Right. So growing up, it was like I idolized him like he was beyond human. You know what I'm saying? He was a myth. The more research I did, the more I grew up and shit, I realized this was a young ass dude who was just human as hell and wasn't afraid to make mistakes, etc. And very vulnerable, the heights, too, very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. And the heights he reached came with a lot of sacrifice and a lot of, you know what I'm saying, mess. So it's like, and he made a lot of bad decisions too. So I look at it from that perspective, like, none of these dudes are beyond we should treat them like humans, because they are. And that in itself, humanizing them is helping them too. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm just like, I got to be the best version of me. I can't be Tupac. Right. I got to be Jason. You feel me? What's the best version of Jason? Right.
So there's this concept you keep hearing from artists that have popped off, artists that finally, like, you know, made it big, right? Yeah. Where they say, I had to dumb down my music to make it big. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's like legitimate? Do you think they really had to dumb it down to make it big? Or like, do you feel like that's something you're faced with? Because again, you're a very lyrical guy. You're a very thought through guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you got to consider the fact that a lot of people don't have the capacity to understand some of the shit that you talk about sometimes.
Yeah. And that's why what is interesting is the lyrics that you hear, while they are like, you know, super dope, those are dumbed down lyrics. Like, but it's not dumb. Right. It's just, I understand. I have to understand if I want to get a message out, because I'm not trying to change nobody's perspective. Right. I'm not trying to change, like, I just want people to have an open perspective. That's what my music. That's what I try to do with my music. Like, have people challenge their own beliefs, not give them a belief.
Just hear me with an open mind.
Exactly. And kind of, you feel me? Like, and that's why I said lines like, "Can cut the rope," when I was like, devil working 24/7 to confuse us and make you wonder maybe he loves us more than God. I remember hearing that one. That's just like, that just gives you a different perspective of God and the devil. You feel me? Like, you feel me? It's only one side of that story's really been told. Right. So I try to paint that picture for everything, but using because it was a biblical album
right.
using God and the devil to explain it.
Right.
So as far as dumbing down my lyrics, I think because I can take it to a way higher level than what I do, but I have to understand that there's an audience that I've created. How did I create them? And kind of try to stick into that lane. You feel me?
Right.
I'm not one to go get new fans.
Right.
Even though that's what you should do.
Right.
I'm more like, if you want to come over here, come over here.
Right.
You feel me? I'm not like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
You rather have them really fuck with you.
Yeah. It's either you.
On their own accord, too.
On their own accord. That's what I want my whole fan base to be. You feel me? I'm not trying to make you like me. Right. You feel me? It's like you like me or you don't.
So are you trying to stay independent?
Yeah.
You're not planning on signing with nobody?
Nah. And if I do, if you ever see me sign, it was an incredible deal.
Right. Like, you know your shit. You're not about to sign another stupid.
Nah, right? I'm not even signed to my own manager right now.
Right.
Like,
you guys don't have any contracted thing. None. Just helping you out.
We're just solid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like Chris, I fuck with you, you fuck with me. Like, we gonna trust each other, and that's all. We gonna. Our contract is our word.
Right.
You feel me? And if you know
how
what
it should be, in my opinion.
Exactly. And our contract, and I trust him. You know what I'm saying? I know he trusts me, so it's like that's what we doing. And as far as being independent, just growing more in this music shit, I'm learning it's all bullshit. You
like
feel me?
Signing a deal and shit?
Them industry period.
Okay.
Like
from what perspective?
Like everything is fake. Everything is bullshit.
Like the help that they offer you? Or the help that they offer you?
It's like the numbers.
Got you.
The perception. All of it is just like, damn, you feel me? Like this is whack. Like, and what you have to do to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like the idea of TikTok and how necessary it's become for up and coming artists. I don't like I'm not a big fan of playlisting. You feel me? I know it's necessary, but it's like, damn, like it's just so many different bots.
You're just huge on like the organics.
Yeah, because I feel like, that's how I want to live. Like, I'm not interested in being Drake or Kendrick. I'm not interested in none of that. I'm interested in what is what I'm creating right now going to present for me. What is that going to give me? That's all I care about. Like, I'm not interested in nothing else. So it's like, from that perspective, I try to keep it as organic as possible. You feel me? Like, and I'm building, even through playlisting, we try to find the most organic playlist as possible. Right. Like playlisting, like, you know what I'm saying? Not even trying to land giant playlists or stuff like that, but playlists that have actual people on it that will actually convert if they enjoy it. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's
people that'll listen to it and like,
and and the ratio we've been creating is ridiculous. Right. You know what I'm saying? So trying to stick to that, but then it's like, if you don't do the bigger ones, it's harder to land editorial playlists. If you're not signed, it's basically impossible to get editorial playlists. Right. And it's like, the industry's become more, I feel like it's become, I mean, I can't really say because I wasn't in the industry before, but from my perspective, the industry has become more strict almost, where it's like, instead of all these labels, they control all the streaming now. You feel me? They control all the platforms for the streaming and shit. And if you're not signed, or you not, you know what I'm saying, or distribution deal or some shit like that, it's damn near impossible to land these editorial playlists that'll literally make you a superstar overnight. Right. You know what I'm saying?
What's your opinion on artists that have their own labels? Is it all the same shit? Because there's a lot of artists that start their own labels nowadays.
Oh, starting their own labels? That's what I don't really know about. Really? I don't really know about that at all. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know about that at all.
I feel you.
I don't know how that works as far as starting your own label and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't really know anybody that owns a label.
Or anyone that's signed to an artist-owned label.
Oh, no, I know a lot of signed artists.
Got you.
There's a lot. Actually, what's crazy, a lot of the artists that are going crazy right now in Phoenix or Arizona are signed. Like,
got you. Like who?
I don't know if I should say that.
I really only have, so from my own experience, I have one homie that I know who's like going off.
Yeah.
And that's Moxus.
Yeah.
And I had him on the podcast not long ago. Yeah. That's the only Arizona artist that I know of who ever like actually popped off. Except Futuristic too. Obviously, like I met him, I knew him, I helped him out with one of his videos back in the day. Yeah. But like, you know, personally, I don't really fuck with his music.
As far as artists going in, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think, as far as that, I'm not saying who's signed or not, but I know artists that are going in, they're like, Belagandis is crazy.
Okay. I only just heard about him from your song.
Yeah, they're just now getting into the scene.
That's a group.
It's a group.
Gotcha.
It's a bunch of guys. It's like three. It's like you know what I'm saying? It's super dope. Super cool dudes too.
And their Instagram page is like after I heard the song, you tagged them in something on Instagram, and then I went to their page and checked them out. And like their Instagram page, again, creative as hell.
They're so dope.
All the posts, like everything, very like it grabs your attention, and it's creative as hell.
They're so solid. Like I love those dudes. I don't like people for real. You know what I'm saying? Like I enjoy you know what I'm saying? Like I enjoy like as far as getting close to people.
Right.
I'm not one to do that.
You like your solitude.
I fuck with Belagandis. Like if it wasn't no music shit, I would be I'll hang out with those fools like just to hang out.
For sure.
Zaya's going crazy.
Okay.
Zaya got a song that's about to touch a mill right now with a Garden. Who else? Brown Boy Maj. He changed his name.
I don't know who that is.
He moved to LA with Bootleg Kev and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. He got a song with Wiz Khalifa. He's doing great.
Got you.
Who else?
Man, I'm really not in the or I'm not aware of anyone in the Arizona scene that much because it feels like when you're removed from it, you know what I mean? It feels like nothing's coming from Arizona. Yeah,
and that's unfortunately, since you found me,
right?
If all this Corona shit didn't happen, you would have been able to find a whole bunch of other people through these shows,
right?
But since the shows are shut down,
has that been hurting you?
Yeah. Money wise,
I bet.
Yeah, it's killing me. But I've made more money off of music this year than I ever made
streaming and shit like that.
Yeah, mostly features.
Got you.
I made a lot of money off of features because I cut my feature price in half and was like, this is like the Corona deal. Right. Everybody's been biting on that. Right. But I feel like a lot of artists are getting signed right now, like Tux. Okay. Tux just got signed to Internet Money. That was a public signing though. That's why I'm okay with saying that.
Right.
I know Jax just got into some type of deal too. But yeah,
I fuck with a lot of the producers that were with Internet Money. There's a lot of dope
I never really even knew who they were until
from my understanding, it was a group of YouTube kids, like a bunch of kids making like beats and shit and posting them on YouTube and shit like that, and that's where they came from.
They blowing dudes
crazy. Like Trippie Redd just did a song with one of the Internet Money producers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like Tux, for example, like he had like 30,000 monthly listeners on Spotify and shit.
Right.
He got signed to them. He has like 2 or 3 songs with 1 million plays on SoundCloud right now. You know what I'm saying? Like they are turning dudes into superstars. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So who is the Jalopy Bungus in 10 years? What does he look like? What is he doing?
I don't think Jalopy Bungus in 10 years is making music.
Really?
I'd be hella surprised if I was still making music at 32. I'd be surprised.
You trying to retire before then?
I have a lot of thoughts about retiring. I think it's just the game is so fake and just so people bragging about like
this, that, and the other
shit that isn't real. Like I you know what I mean? Like it's like, and it's like damn, like I don't know. Like so I be thinking like damn, like I don't know how long I want to make hip hop.
Okay,
I might, you know what I'm saying. As far as music, I feel like I'm gonna make music for a long time.
Right.
But you know, I just figured out my singing voice and you know what I mean, stuff like that. Like I'm just now trying out R&B and stuff.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't think you can stop making music in your life. I think you're gonna be making music your entire life.
Yeah,
based on these conversations, what I see you posting and shit, I don't think you can stay away from it. I think it keeps you sane.
Yeah, I think music is definitely
it's like you're out.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? But I know if something else allows me to present my message at a great platform that isn't music, you know what I'm saying? Like I know. Yeah, I think I think the style will just change a lot. You feel me? As far as hip hop, like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep rapping, like, but I feel I can definitely see myself like making different types of music, like just expanding.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm doing right now, just expanding, trying new stuff. But yeah, creating, I love to create though. You feel me? So I probably will be making music for a long time. But
did you hear that new G-Eazy album that dropped yesterday?
Oh no, I don't listen to G-Eazy.
Okay, the reason I'm bringing it up is because he just dropped an alternative album.
Like alternative.
Like it's like acoustic and like him singing and doing that kind of a thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like every day now you're seeing more and more artists trying to get outside of the genre that they're famous for or popular for. You know what I mean? That's very common nowadays. And I love to see it. I grew up on like post-hardcore and like pop punk and like shit like that. When I was in high school, that's what I grew up on. And one of my favorite bands of all time is Bring Me the Horizon. And Bring Me the Horizon is now doing like from where they started, where they were they started as a screamo band. And they went into the metal side.
Yeah, I've seen one of my homies tweeted about listening to them the other day.
Yeah. And now they're doing stuff that's like electronically inspired, and they got vocalists and stuff on it, and they've changed their style so much. So it's so interesting to me that we live in an era where musicians and artists in general can switch up the style that they're doing, and their fan bases will follow them with it.
Yeah.
Because I know you remember this. As a kid, how often did you hear someone drop something that was outside of their style?
It was so
everyone
rare.
was chastising them.
It was so rare. Like, like they would get on their head. Like Kanye.
Every time.
Kanye and Wayne, they killed them for like trying out. They
killed Wayne for the guitar thing, for all that.
They killed them. Like, I think, and that's another thing. Like now we're not just focused on one or two people or 3-4 people no more. Everybody's just in their own lane, like over there and over there. So it's like people build those cult followings, and then you feel me. But only people who get that type of criticism is like Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like,
really?
Yeah, Kendrick. I feel like Kendrick's the only one who gets like that. Like, oh, he changed the sound. Like, I don't like this. I think he's the only one that really gets that. Like, as far as major artists go,
I think that's so close-minded. Like from a listener's perspective, man.
It is. Like I love all his albums.
Yeah.
I mean, Section 80 on. I don't like Overly Dedicated.
Okay.
But I love Good Kid, Mad City. I love To Pimp a Butterfly, and I love Damn.
Yeah.
All classics.
Yeah. He's due for an album.
Yeah.
He's way overdue for an album.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll ever drop it though.
Really?
Mm-mm. But I felt the same way after Screaming Butterfly, though, so you never know.
Yeah,
I remember telling my homies, like, I think Kendrick about to retire.
Yeah.
But I think I just be looking at it from my perspective. Like, if I was Kendrick and I dropped, like, Good Kid and Screaming Butterfly, I feel like I would retire. Like, I feel like I'd be done.
You're like, I'm done. I'm going to leave it on that.
For real. Like, I don't know.
Drake did his interview with Rap Radar, like, a while back.
I seen a little bit of that.
Yeah, a couple months back. I watched the whole thing because I'm a big Drake guy.
Yeah. I like Drake, too.
I fuck with Drake heavy. Yeah. Love everything he does.
He's another influence.
Yeah. Do you remember in one of his songs, he said something like, about retiring and it's already funded. And then he said something about like the age he was going to retire. He said he was going to retire before 30 in one of his songs, some shit like that. In Rap Radar, they asked him about that, and they're like, "You're still here?" And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, when I wrote that at the time,
you feel it?
I felt like I couldn't be 30 and rapping."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Here I am, and I'm still doing it. Like maybe I'll still be here for another 10 years. You never know."
Yeah, I think that just sparked a new thing in my head. Like, I started to think like, I'm still so young. So it's like when I like, I feel like 30 is so far away, but it's really not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like 8 years. I'm like, am I still gonna be making rap in 8 years? You feel me? But then I think about it like, I don't know. Like, you don't even really become full strength until like around that age. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't
like
even
really solid in what you know, what you are, who you are type
exactly.
shit.
You don't even get there yet. Like until you like around 30-ish. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I really can't even answer those type of questions right now because my mind changes so much.
So often. I'm in the same boat, bro, because I sit here and, think about what I'm doing and where I'm going, where I'm putting my efforts at, and like what I should be putting my efforts towards. And it's always changing every day.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's the great thing about life. Like we can do whatever we want. And that's how I feel. That's why I think that's the biggest thing. Like I'm so not attached to everything that it's like I feel like because of that like lack of attachment, I could just be like, oh, I'm done. Yeah. You feel me? But I just like doing a lot of stuff.
I think that's a testament to like being able to say that you have confidence in your overall ability as a person.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're not like I'm only good at doing this.
Exactly.
You're like I'm a strong independent human being that can do anything I set my mind to.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Right. That's how I really feel. I feel like anything that I want to do, I can do it and be good at it, because that's how I've been my entire life. Like anything that I tried, I got really good at it. You feel me? And it just so happens that hip hop, you know what I'm saying, music was at the right time where I was like, oh, I want to do it. And then I think what inspires me about music so much, there's like no ceiling. Like you can just keep getting better. Right. You feel me? So it's like I'm always trying to like break that ceiling, like, you know, trying to find that limit, but it never happens.
But you're not, like, over the course of this conversation, it seems like you're not the kind of person to set standard based on your fan base or based on how many plays you're getting, or so what ceilings are you trying to break? Like, what are the goals that you're breaking? If it's not how many people are your fans and how many plays your songs get and shit, what are you looking to?
I feel like I'm always trying to just outdo myself. Right. That's all. I'm always just trying to beat myself, but then over like just seeing like the more I learn about everything that's going down in the world in this country and shit, like I'm just like being self-sufficient. Once I become self-sufficient, that's when I'll really know. Gotcha. You feel me? Like once I like don't need to make money off of music, or I don't need, you know what I'm saying, etc., that's when I'll really know, like, because I don't want to work a job. Right. So it's like, this is something I love to do, and I make money off it. So this is what I'm doing. You feel me? But it's like, as far as, I just always try to just break my own, what I did before.
It's kind of like that internal feeling you get when you're like, I outdid myself here.
Always. That's always what I'm trying to do. You feel me? And I feel like, I feel like that's what my approach and everything. I feel like that's why I be smoking dudes in battles for real. Because it's like, I don't be watching their battles and trying to beat them.
You're just trying to beat yourself last time.
Yeah, I'm just trying
You're like, I already beat the dude I beat last time. I might as well beat myself.
I go into it like, I'm not like, I'm just trying to put on a great show. Like, you feel me? And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do with everything I do. Like, just make everything look fun, make everything look dope while getting the message across. You feel me? But I just want to do what I can to, like, make a difference.
I feel you.
In the world. Like, that's my core. You feel me? And music is the number one outlet for me to do that right now. Right. You know
I'm on the same vibe, man. Yeah. That's why I do this. That's why I do this, because I know I used to go to college parties when I first got into college. So when I got into college, my dad's a doctor. My mom works for my dad. My sister's in med school right now. Yeah. Okay. I was the child that chose not to take that direction. And I'm Persian, right? I'm Middle Eastern. Yeah. So that influence is always right behind your back. Yeah. So when I got into college, I was a biomed major. And I was not going to class at all. I was failing out of my shit. I was on academic probation. Like, it was just not going well. And I would go to house parties on a regular basis. Yeah. And I wasn't even partying. I was standing in the backyard trying to find people to have conversations with.
I'm that guy.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm that guy too. Yeah.
So that's where this came from. At some point in time, I was like, it's what I was good at. It's what I enjoyed doing. You know what I mean? Maybe I can make an impact through that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's all of us are trying to do the same thing, man. I feel like if your heart's in the right place, everyone's trying to do the same thing, and that's making impact. Yeah. It's just figuring out what is the best way for you to do that in a way that you're going to enjoy doing that.
Exactly. Literally. So, that's literally what it is for me. Like, and that's what music is right now. Music is the most fun, you know what I'm saying, version
way for
of
you
that.
to get your message out.
Yeah, exactly. You feel me? So that's why I'm gonna just keep doing, you feel me? But as far as the goals, just trying to outdo myself and become self-sufficient. Be able to take care of myself financially and all that shit. Have all my own shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, we're at an hour.
All right, bet.
Time flies.